What is your favourite AFL game you've been to, and what is your least favourite AFL game you've been to? Good question. Let me look through the games. Surely I got an AFL vlog on this channel. No, that's not it. That's just AFL videos. Ah, there you go. It's 23 videos, jeez. Alright, so what we got? We got Melbourne Collingwood round 21, 2022, my first ever AFL game. My first Hawthorn game just a day later. You know, I almost got stranded in Tasmania after that game. I fell asleep at the airport because I was so tired from the lack of sleep. And a random Hawks fan woke me up when we were about to board. If he didn't wake me up, I'd have been left in Tasmania. That would have been funny. My suitcase just at the airport in Melbourne, like, where's Davidoff? But yeah, first off one game there. First game at Marvel the day after, North East Sydney, Saints Brisbane. This is where I met Cardi and Sammy G for the first time. There's Dowager as well. I met Dowager that day. Obviously, I met Kat at the Melbourne game. I got a free ticket to that because she's part of a members club, which is awesome. Can't remember the exact name of the club, to be fair, but I do remember. I did 5 games in one weekend as well. So I did this one. I did Dogs, Giants, and Melbourne Carlton. So there's Cat. There's I was gonna say Darijo. It's not Darijo. It's Dazalenko. His name is Daryl, but I like to call him Dazalenko because that was his YouTube name in the comments. He was one of the OG AFL viewers in 2016. But yeah, I watched these 2 games, and I watched Richmond Hawthorn, where Richmond smashed us, and Essendon Port Adelaide. I've noticed as well, people watch the most when Hawthorn play. Like my reaction videos on YouTube, on my streams, my Hawthorn streams, like Hawthorn Port Adelaide was my second highest viewed stream after the grand final in 2024. And in terms of the vlogs, like 3K for Richmond Hawthorn. Like, it seems like you guys like watching me watch Hawthorn. I'm catching on here. And the Essendon Port Adelaide, where Essendon got smashed by Port. And then, that was just a random vlog. Okay, Collingwood Melbourne. My first finals game was also my first AFL game ever. Melbourne against Collingwood. Then Carlton Sydney the day after the MCG. And then Brisbane Port Adelaide. I flew there instead of staying in Melbourne to watch Brisbane GWS. No, sorry, not Brisbane. GWS St Kilda, which I thought was an obvious Giants win. So I flew over to Brisbane instead to watch this incredible game. To be fair, that's got almost as many views as the Hawthorn game there. And then you got GWS Collingwood opening round 2024. It feels like a lifetime ago now. Carlton Richmond opening game. Collingwood Sydney. Essendon Hawthorn. We were awful that day. If you told me after that game that we'd make the 8 and win a finals game, I would have been laughing at you. But we made it. We had an awful start to the season. First 7-8 rounds were awful. St Kilda Collingwood round 2 and Hawthorn Melbourne round 2, which is awful as well. This one, maybe not the best or the worst, but the fact that I watched Collingwood lose 3 times 3 weeks in a row was pretty funny. Like, they lost this game in opening round, they lost this round 1 game, and they lost this round 2 game. But this one especially will be very memorable to me. Why? Because that was the day I found out I'm going to lose my job. Because I'm at the game, and I think it was half time. Right, half time at the game, and it was a great game, and it was a good vlog as well because there's a Collingwood fan middle fingered the camera. A random guy in the stadium just jumped on my back, wanting to be in the video, knowing he had no idea who I was or anything. There were some crazy things in that vlog, right? But at the same time, at half time, I checked on WhatsApp because my work friends on WhatsApp, we got a whole group, right? And they're like, someone said, the circus is shutting down. I'm just like, what are you talking about? And then more people reply. I'm just like, wait, our workplace is shutting down in July? And I checked my emails. I'm just like, oh, the email says we're shutting down July 22nd. No, July 20th. July 20th we're shutting down. I'm just like, wait, what? Literally 2 days before this game, I found out I was losing my home, this home here, because it is not safe. These flats aren't safe enough, and the maintenance costs to keep these flats running is way too high. So the company wants to get everybody out of these flats, relocate everybody. And the idea, I think, was knocking it down or like or whatever. It's above a shopping centre, but obviously there's other ways of removing a flat. Although I have heard recently that actually they are planning on moving everyone out and then selling them. That's what I heard. Apparently they're going to sell them to someone else. Someone that's, I guess, is willing to pay the fees or whatever. But either way, we are getting finessed. So I found this out 2 days before this game. Then at this game, I'm literally at the game, enjoying my experience. And then I see on WhatsApp, I found out through WhatsApp that my workplace is shutting down. And I was just like, oh, this is a nightmare. I'm literally 4 days from flying home. It was on the Thursday, so I was flying home on Monday. And I get this news. And on top of this, you know what's even crazier? On my final paycheck, here it is, my final paycheck, right? They minused £568 from my final paycheck. Why? For taking too much holiday. Think about this for a second, alright? I was already on holiday in Australia for 3 weeks. Bear in mind, I was in Australia. It's not like I can just jump on the next flight and just be like, hey guys, I'm back. I can, but that'd take a whole day anyway, for a start. But regardless, I'm literally about to fly home in like 4 days. So I've almost completed my 3-week trip of Australia on the other side of the world, the place where it takes a day to travel there by plane, and there's nothing I can do to cancel this holiday. There's nothing I can do because I've already gone to the other side of the world. I've gone down under. But for taking too much holiday, they minused £568. A holiday that I had no control over cancelling. A holiday that I'd already taken, they minus £568. And some people will bring up the fact that I also went to America afterwards, and I went to 2 F1 races in other parts of Europe. Those are not holiday bookings. So one was a bank holiday booking, which was like, there were 3 bank holidays in 2024 that I worked. So I had the right to have extra days off. So that was one. And the American trip, I swapped it for day swaps, which is like, okay, I want this day off, but I work another day. Basically, you owe a day. You have this day off. If they approve it, you owe them a day. So you come in on your day off. So that's what I did for America. I had like 5 or 6 days of day swaps, and I just worked 6 extra days on my days off. So that's what I did. So the America trip was fine. The Spain F1 trip, Austria F1 trip were fine. But the thing is, I could do something about those. I could either cancel the holidays or do the day swaps and work days off so I can still have my holidays. For Australia, I couldn't do anything. It was done. It was confirmed. It was all done. A holiday, they announced 4 days from when I was flying home that they're shutting down. And in my final paycheck, they minus £568 because I overbooked my holiday. Basically, the holiday runs from January to January. And because we shut down in July, that means your holiday allowance basically halves. So even though I was within my allowance, the allowance went down by half, which means I was over the limit, not under the limit. So because of that, minus 568 because you overbooked your holiday. But I'm just like, I was already on holiday. And I emailed them, this exact situation, I emailed them, and they replied saying, sorry, this is policy. Like, well, we understand your situation, this is policy. If you overbook, you can't have it. And I'm just like, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. I had no... Like, there's no way I could have changed that because of when you announced it. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. But where were we? Oh, yeah. Most and least favourite AFL game that I've been to. Some interesting choices here. It is cheating a bit, but I'm going to go this one for favourite because obviously it's Hawthorn. And to watch Hawthorn for the first time was a beautiful feeling. And to watch it in Tasmania too. Even though it was very cold and we didn't play that well, we still won. So to fly to Australia to watch my team play, and the fact that we won on top of that, that was an experience that I'll never forget, that is for sure. But if we take out the Hawthorn factor, and we just judge it from a neutral point of view, well, this game was very close. It's just was it a point? I can't remember. It was very close, this game. I enjoyed watching Buddy kick lots of goals, but it wasn't the best game, let's be honest. This was just a funny game because Max King missed like 6 shots. Melbourne Carlton, we had that Cozza Pickett last minute go, and I got that on camera as well. I got that on video. I started recording thinking, oh, there's 30 seconds left. Koza scores the most brilliant goal to win it right at the end. It was an incredible game. So this might be the best one so far. Worst, there's the worst. Richmond v Hawthorn, there's the worst. I know I said I'd take Hawthorn out, but I just can't put that as like anything but the worst. That was just awful. Just watch my team get pummeled and smashed. Collingwood Melbourne AFL Finals, Brisbane Port Adelaide. To be honest, I'm looking at it like about how good the games were, right? But it's not always about that. Like the experience of watching something in person is not always about what's the best and what's the closest. Sometimes it's about what's the best in terms of memories. And for me, it's this one. Brisbane v Port Adelaide. I took the risk of, and this is an assist to Mars McGee, by the way, because he's the one who told me about the ticket. There was a VIP ticket available for this game, and I snatched it up because I'm just like, okay, I can go to the game, and I know it's expensive, but it could be like once in a while I go to finals game. So it's like, I'm just like, oh, this is incredible. And even though the flights were a bit stupid, the flights from Melbourne to Brisbane and back were not cheap, but the experience was worth it. Like, I could have stayed in Melbourne to watch Giants St Kilda. I could have just done that. But in my eyes, I was just like, the Giants are going to win that. There's no chance for the Saints here. And I was right about that. But, like, I thought to myself, am I going to stay in Melbourne the whole 3 days, or should I fly to Brisbane? And I'm just like, I want to fly to Brisbane. So I did that. I stayed in Melbourne for a bit after going to the Outback and the Great Barrier Reef. And after watching these two crazy games, I went to fly to Brisbane the next morning, and I was very tired, by the way. I don't know how I even woke up. Like, Carlton Sydney ended quite late at night, and I went to edit that vlog as well on top of that, which is crazy from me, but I wanted the vlog up the next morning. And then I woke up on like 3 or 4 hours sleep and went to this. And it was worth it. Like, I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed watching the Lions play. I loved their vibes and their music. And one of the best moments was Charlie Cameron scoring. Everyone singing Country Roads, and then he scores straight away again. I got that on camera. There's a short on my main channel as well about it, but it's also in this vlog. There's so much about this game that I like, and the memories are just so good. Despite the fact that the flights were expensive, the scarf was expensive, the ticket was expensive, it is a day I'll never forget. So this night, yeah, this is my favourite. I'm going to go, this is my favourite. Apart from Hawthorn winning, but we're minusing Hawthorn from this. If I'm just judging by in general, this is best and this is worst. But overall experience, from a neutral point of view, if I take out my Hawthorn bias, for me it's this one. Yes, it wasn't a close game, but it's the experience of it. And watching that in person was bloody brilliant. And also my first time at the Gabba as well. So I'll never forget this day. So based on that, the worst... it's not any of these games, let's be honest. Obviously Hawthorn losing is bad. The Melbourne one was very depressing. But maybe Essendon, Port Adelaide, just in terms of like Port just were all over them from the start, and Essendon had no chance. They were just getting pummeled. I just watched 2 blowouts that day. Just very really bad footy from the 2 losing teams and very good footy from the 2 winning teams. So maybe Essendon, Port Adelaide. Yeah, maybe that, because this game wasn't that good, but at least I watched Buddy kick a lot of goals, and I enjoyed that. Essendon, Port Adelaide wasn't exactly like a memorable game. It was only memorable because I watched Hawthorn get smashed by Richmond, so I wanted to see someone else get smashed, and I watched Essendon get smashed straight after. So that's why I remember it partly, but as a game it just wasn't very good. So yeah, that's probably my answers. So best, first Hawthorn game and Brisbane Port Adelaide finals. Worst, Essendon Port Adelaide, and Hawthorn getting smashed by Richmond, and also by Melbourne, probably. So those are my answers. I've taken so long with this. I spent almost an hour sitting here answering questions, but at least I got a bunch of videos out of it, eh? So yeah, this is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. And yes, I agree, Benjamin. It is very wild. It's ridiculous. It's bloody ridiculous. And goodbye.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you